I am used to pushing out that side of me. And that is basically what you do in pushing. When you're pushing a baby out, it's like taking the biggest poop of your life. I know. I'm sorry. It's a lot of information, but it really is like that.
Can we use that as the intro clip for this episode?
Oh my gosh.
And then music cues?
I think so. I think that would be great. What's up, everybody? It's Kait
and JJ.
And this is our Patreon exclusive.
Take 2.
Yeah, we actually already recorded this one. And the audio didn't really record and the video recorded in poor quality. So here we are again.
Whose fault?
C'est toi.
Me. It was me. Hey, and that's okay. Honestly, a big thing is that no, we're in the trust tree. This is the Patreon family. We were in marital therapy last week, which has been so good.
Yeah.
And the big thing for us is we've really had to reevaluate how we treat mistakes.
Very true.
I really feel like, the foundation of a relationship and how you guys treat each other when you make mistakes. And I'm not like they, forgot to lock the door one night. It's like, what if they keep making the same mistake over and over and over and it really bothers you?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. How do you react?
React to that. Little good dating nugget right there. See how they react to when things don't go their way.
Or a mistake.
Or to a mistake.
If you made a mistake, yeah, that's a good one.
So if you guys are watching this on YouTube or the clip, this episode is going to be all about some real life updates and some real talk because it's been a while since we updated our people on what's happening in our lives.
Wait, you're going to talk about pregnancy?
Yep.
And birth? And postpartum?
And having a baby, moving across the country.
Okay, which was harder? Pregnancy, birth, or moving across the country to a new city and packing and logistically doing it all?
Oh my gosh.
Or taking care of a newborn.
Birth was definitely the hardest.
Okay, so birth is hardest.
Hands down.
Okay, I'm just you have to make me fucking idiot for asking
that. Pregnancy was the second hardest. Just the end was hard.
Okay. Really. The last couple weeks before the baby.
Taking care of a newborn actually wasn't that bad.
Because the baby's been a good baby or because you're just amazing?
Because we are a great team with the baby and she's also an angel.
Okay. And so the easiest was moving across the country.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that list?
Definitely. Packing sucks, but to be fair, you did most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should ask this question to me.
I know. We should ask it in reverse.
Dude, the road trip was people ask me all the time, wait, you drove while Kait flew? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, by yourself? I'm like, well,
with the dogs.
No, I had the dogs. And they're like, but by yourself? And I go, no, I had the dogs. And they're like, you're serious? I'm like, yeah, they're great company. They are actually company. You can talk to them. You can listen to whatever you want and they don't complain. And
they're not conversational.
And they don't bother you to stop. You can stop whenever you want to stop. I'm like, those are the 3 challenges of a road trip with someone.
Sure. Well, they do. Yeah.
As they listen to you, they listen to what you want, and they stop when you want to stop. I'm like,
yeah,
doesn't get better than that.
So same question in reverse. What was the hardest for you of those? Pregnancy, birth, taking care of a newborn, or moving?
Oh man. I think pregnancy was the hardest.
Yeah.
Just because it was so long.
Yeah, it was so taxing your body.
It was,
your hormones were just all over the place.
They were, I was getting to 8 hours of sleep, 7.5.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's not even true.
No, it's funny. I would say pregnancy just because, your partner's hormones are all over the place. And I had to grow up in a lot of ways. it's one thing to do conflicts and agreements when the other person is like halfway showing up, but there were some conflicts and disagreements where it's like, okay, my partner's not on planet Earth right now.
Yeah.
How can we maintain peace and move forward in partnership? And you have to make some pretty big sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone maybe explained that to me. I kind of knew pregnancy hormones were a lot, and I knew postpartum hormones were a lot. I just don't think if there's any way to prepare, your partner's not on planet Earth when it comes to logic and reason sometimes, and that's okay.
So that was the hardest.
So pregnancy was the hardest. I would say birth, moving, what was the other one? Taking care of the newborn.
Uh-huh.
I would say probably taking care of the newborn was second, just because people were dying on Instagram. That I experienced like a physical symptom of stress for the first time in my life.
You did.
And I'll never forget it.
This is JJ's first time ever experiencing stress.
Like physical.
In his body, which I can't even.
You want to tell them, you want to set the scene? It was like 1:00 in the morning.
It was the first week, right?
Yeah, it was like day 5.
Yeah, it was the first
week. I've been doing a lot.
And it was the first time where the baby was pretty much inconsolable for, I don't know, an hour?
Yeah, not even that long.
She just was like really crying, and it was JJ's. We took shifts in terms of like
it was my
at
shift.
Night, and it was JJ's shift. But he called in some backup because it was like, I go in there and he's like, I can't do it. I can't.
Dude, okay. So, and prior to that, for like 5 days, like if you're a guy listening, just know when you have your baby, your Superman complex will come out in a good way. When that baby's born and your wife is like somewhat bedridden, you're not changing one set of diapers. You're changing 2 sets of diapers. Okay, you are changing your wife's diaper.
Okay, yes.
You're changing that baby's diaper.
The lady wears diapers after she gives birth.
And listen, you nothing happened to you. Like you're good. Your body works great. So when your wife is in bed and she needs water or she needs food or anything,
you can't really walk that much the first week.
Yeah, you're kind of like waddling after having a baby. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, well, I'm not about to make you go down the stairs to get your pumps.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you need right now.
Yeah.
I'm not about to make you go downstairs after and clean them. Mm-hmm. Like as much as humanly possible.
You're like a butler, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs.
Dude, I did so much cardio that week.
Like putting the.
Oh yeah, I was like.
We had a box at the top of the stairs.
We had a big box
where we put like the dirty.
I was just like, hey, Kate, just dump everything you need. Sorry, everybody. Our third co-host wanted to join. Hi.
If you're watching YouTube, you can see sweet Eleanor.
She's got her bow. She's looking very cute.
Her hair is looking crazy.
She might speak up with some very passionate opinions. So we were talking about. She wanted to be
here because we're talking about taking care of her, giving birth.
Yeah.
So we were talking about
what was most difficult.
Most difficult. And we were talking about. I was saying that you said the second hardest thing outside of pregnancy was taking care of a newborn because you're taking care of your wife and the baby.
Yeah, you're taking care of 2 babies.
Yeah. Okay. And I was saying, do you remember the box at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, the box is funny. We would just keep instead of running up and down 10 times a day, I would run up and down 5 times a day. Because we would just load up a box at the top and I could take down the dishes and everything. So I would say, experiencing stress for the first time, that like 1:00, I had to tap out. I literally had to grab Kate because she was up pumping. That is the funniest thing of those first few weeks. It's like you two are just like up at 2, 3, 4, like just making it work, saying like, hey, how's it going? You make eye contact. They're kind of like delirious together, which I think is a fun experience that you just have to make the best of. Literally, the best advice I got was 2 things. Number one, and this is probably the most surprising thing about pregnancy and birth and taking care of a kid. Number one is this. You have instinct. You have parenting instinct. You have spousal instinct. Let those instincts take over.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Like I look at animals all the time with so much fascination at the instinct they have. And God has given us the same thing. We have instinct.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most surprising thing. Like you have instinct on how to take care of her. You have instinct on when you hear her cries. If it's a I'm hungry cry, I'm cold, my stomach hurts. Like you hear different pitches and you interpret their crying differently. It's fascinating.
It's so interesting.
Like this is TMI, but Kate's breasts would leak milk if they hear the baby crying.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah, it's wild.
So stuff like that is just nuts. So that was the most surprising thing. And the most challenging thing was, the stress of it. So two things.
Well, that was the second most stressful thing. So then you were going to say birth and then moving.
Oh, yeah. Moving was easy. Well, with the stress, the other advice I got was from your mom, actually, who, when you're going through the stressful times, just enjoy it as much as possible because it will come and go like that.
Yeah.
Like she's already sleeping through the night.
I know.
We'll never have to get up at 2, 3, 4. Well, we'll see if she regresses. But so really embrace those moments. It's kind of like when you're doing conditioning in high school in your sport. It's 110 degrees outside.
Yeah.
No one wants to be there. And then you look around and you're just kind of like, you have fun, even though it's a painful struggle.
Yeah.
I would say third and fourth, birth was always crazy to me because I remember watching a video about being present. It was from Arden Bevere.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how like her labor was like 12 to 14 hours. And he was there by her side with grabbing her hand, breathing with her, just super present every moment. I was like, honestly, I don't know if I could stay locked in that long. Like, I don't know if I could go that long without checking my phone, just out of habit. I don't know if I could go that long without eating or just something, right? And your labor was like 40 hours.
Yeah.
And I was locked in for all of it with you. And I'm like, in hindsight, I was like we went 3 days with like 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy, but it's nuts how like I said, your instinct takes over. Have you guys heard that? That was Eleanor just ripping one. Good job. You got that from mommy. Okay, and she just spit up. So you gotta make do. So yeah, I would say, birth wasn't hard except for that. Birth was super sacred, amazing, just the coolest moment of my life. I loved our wedding, honey. It doesn't hold a candle to birth. Yeah,
birth was, I had a little bit of a different experience, but I do think it was like ultimately amazing, obviously. Yes. But okay, so the fourth was moving across country.
That was so easy. God was so all over that. That was where like preparation.
She just tooted again and again.
Preparation meaning
Good
like
job.
God's grace, meaning like I really think we underestimate how much we can prepare for things in life. Mm-hmm. And then when God's grace sustains our effort, that's a pretty awesome place to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So should we give them some highlights? Like, I don't know if I should tell the birth story. What do we do?
I think you can talk about birth. I think, you had a pretty unique laboring process. I don't think it usually is that long. Eleanor says, sorry.
If y'all are watching this or listening, the rest of the episode, the rest of the birth story, and including lots of tears, you can join our Patreon community, $5 and above, patreon.com/Heart of Dating to listen to the episode. By the way, next month in June, we are doing a matchmaking event. So we want to invite you to that. You can apply to be match made within our Patreon community. We'd love to have y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye. The Heart of Dating podcast is created by Kait and JJ Tomlin. Shout out to our epic audio and video editor, Scott Caro. We have an amazing Heart of Dating team who helps bring this show to you each week. I want to shout out Kelsey Napier, our Heart of Dating digital marketing coordinator, and Elena Gibson, our brand and community manager. We couldn't do it without them. Now, if you guys have never ranked us or reviewed us on iTunes or Spotify, would you consider doing that? It would mean so much because our podcast can get more discovered and more people can learn how to better date as Christians. Don't we all want that? We launch our podcast each and every week on Wednesdays, so we will see you next week.